Hello, hello, and welcome, my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your chakra check spread for March into April 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angela Lyons, Mal for short, president of Join the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and very, very, very happy to be working from home today, because I know a lot of people are working from home today, and it seems like it's going to be for a while. So sit back, relax, and let's do this reading. I am doing a chakra spread. I've done this for so many clients over the decades. It's not based on the usual 7 chakras. It's based on the 8 chakras, as defined by Carolyn Mace's Anatomy of the Spirit, one of the best books I've ever read, at least on the subject, in terms of 3 levels of power, in terms of identifying the different flavors of power. And since we are in a time of healing and feeling disempowered, a lot of empaths not knowing what's going on, why they're feeling what they're feeling, rather than do the twin flame readings, which I'll get back to eventually. It just seems a little moot point right now as people are so isolated, social distancing and all of that, that it just makes sense to do something a bit more healing oriented, right? I mean, I am a healer, I'm a spiritual counselor, I'm Reiki too, I've got all these shamanic techniques I've learned throughout the decades, but really I'm my #1 client. So I do chakra checks on myself every now and again anyway, and I think you'll like this spread. I'll explain it as I go along. There are only 18 cards in this spread total, so I think you'll dig it. Please keep in mind this is a general read, and it may not make sense now, right? We're looking at the rest of March into, I would think, the totality of April with an overlap. We'll still be doing this. We're still in this situation in April. Then I'll be doing one from April into May as well. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and check your other signs. That's why I included Venus on this one, because we are going to be looking at the lower 3 chakras, which are all about relationships in one way, shape, or form. I think you'll dig it. Now, my air signs, if you will please focus on your breath, as will I, to the best of my ability, to stay in the present moment. Because this is a different kind of read than just a twin flame or a soulmate read, or what do I need read for an astrological event. This is really about your own energy field. So take a few deep breaths as we do this. You'll watch me, I'll say breathe, right? If you breathe along with me, we'll all be able to tune to the universal source of guidance and grace in the present moment, where it always is. But if we're not focused in the present moment, being in the past or in the future, triggered by whatever, it just doesn't come through as clearly. Cool? So take a nice deep breath and let's do this together, shall we? Here we go. I'm going to shuffle and bless this Healing with the Angels Oracle deck, as well as the Daughters of the Moon, one after the other. We're going to get the top 8 cards, because that's all we need. Rather than draw them one at a time, I'll draw both at the same time for brevity, save a little time. Cool, cool. Here we go. Oh, all the decks that I read are in the description box at the bottom. Only doing 4 decks this time. Cool. Here we go. Oh, thank you, my angels. Here we go. My angels, please. Top 8 cards. Chakra spread for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for March into April 2020, please. We want to look at the 8 flavors of power, 8 chakra, from the root chakra all the way up to the star center, hovering above the head, the 8th chakra. So from the root to the 8th chakra, the star chakra, please. Top 8 cards, my angels. I hear you. Please, for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, March to April 2020. Light trance state coming on very, very easy today, and I'm happy for that. I didn't have to do hours of meditation to get here. I never do, but used to. Let's do with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot the same thing, and then the decks will be loaded. We have 2 other decks we'll be doing at the end, though. Just 1 card each to give you some overview, some guidance and grace, right? So right now we did the angels. Now we're going to do both gods and goddesses, what I call my deities. in the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, though I usually use this just for the Divine Feminine. If I brought in the Mythic Tarot for the Divine Masculine, it would be too many cards, it would be overwhelming and too much information, right? So here we go. Nice deep breath. Oh, there you are. My gods, my goddesses, please, top 8 cards, chakra spread for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising Venus signs for March into April 2020. Please, root to star, root to 8th chakra, please. I'm going to get an energy reading on their 8 levels, 8 flavors of power, please, within the collective energy system for the Aquarian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising Venus signs, please. Thank you very much, my gods and goddesses. Please, nice clean cut. Maiden, thank you. Mother, Crown, good. If you haven't heard me say it before, a clean cut is when there's no dangly card on the bottom, because these cards, I have large hands. I'm 6'1", depending on what I'm wearing, right? But sometimes a card can get caught in the crease and one will hang, and then my mind doubts, was that supposed to be the top card? If it doesn't fall, so it's just easier for me to ask for clean cut. All right, here we go. We're gonna do the first 3 cards here in one column. The root, the sacrum, the solar plexus. That is the literal level of power. Carolyn Mace, learned that from her. The next 4 will be the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. That is the personal level of power. And then the 8th chakra, or the star chakra over here, which represents the symbolic level of power. The literal level is the physical world. The lower 3 chakras are your relationships in all sorts of different ways in the physical world, hence the literal level of power. So, root chakra is tribal power, your tribal relationships, your root chakra connecting you to the Earth's magnetic field. So your relationship, of course, to your biological family, or lack thereof, your relationship to all of your different tribes, your political association, where you live, your friends, your co-workers, any groups of people, even like if you belong, if you're a sports fan, right? Whatever connects you to, and of course your ethnicity, your bloodlines, etc. So what's going on there for the Aquarian collectives in the root chakra? Okay, interesting. We've got the 2 of flames. The card of indecision for me, not so much the mental part of going back and forth thinking about it, but the 2 of flames in terms of desire, creativity, sexuality, being not of 2 minds of it, but of 2 wills, right? Fire is will. So it's like, well, will I do this or will I do that? Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? Hence indecision, or at least an imbalance in terms of what to do in terms of choice. Obviously, the card before this would be the Ace of Flames. Wands is flames in this deck. Flames is wands in this deck. So from that impulse comes, okay, I've got this impulse now. What do I want to do? But with the angel card of freedom saying that it's okay in the physical world right now, you have the freedom and the space to take your time with that, right? To really feel out. Because the truth is that we really don't ultimately know the consequences of our choices and decisions. There's always a little touch of faith in there. But if it is something physically practical, we sort of know the outcome if we don't brush our teeth for very long. Right? We're looking for trouble, right? If we're not drinking water, if we just like, no, that's it, no more liquids, well, you know, you're going to dehydrate. This doesn't feel like that kind of choice. This feels like what's going on perhaps with your family, that there is a freedom for you to have that wiggle room and indecision in terms of where to place your fire, and that would make sense with where we are. So much is on hold. We don't know what the world is going to be like after this situation, and I'm just trying to dance around it because of things put in place on YouTube. Not even people at YouTube watching the videos, it's just things that get caught by the computer and you get flagged for it. So I'm just trying to be really, really clean and clear about this, because I'm not giving out any information other than what's going on in your energy fields here for your own personal healing, right? So you can bring your energy field, your chakra system into alignment gradually over the next month or so. Cool. Just want to clarify that. That's why I'm not coming right out and saying what we're all going through, because we all know what we're going through, don't we? Okay. Cool. That's your first chakra. Let's look at your second chakra. If the first chakra, if you think of it as a root going down into the earth and connecting with other roots, tribal relationships, this is umbilical, right? The navel chakra, though technically I feel the second chakra under my navel about 2 inches and deep, deep, deep inside, but still umbilical in the sense it's my relationship to things like coffee. Praise the gods for it, right? My relationship to my mother, not just to my family, to individual people in my life. So, of course, romantic relationships, sexual relationships, friends, individually, as well as the second chakra also balances, regulates, stores, and generates the energy of sexuality and creativity. And your finances are in your second chakra. And people will say, but money is all these different things. Money has one energy field. Your finances has one energy field. So it's your relationship to money. And we'll see how it plays out, because it could be all of those things and a side of fries, right? So what's going on in the second chakra for the aquariums? Well, interesting. Focus on blessings. That's why I love reading these two decks together. These are the two decks that I've been reading together professionally. I've added more since, obviously. But they really do my work for me. Three of Blades here. Focus. Not that card of heartbreak like we see in the Rider-Waite Tarot. And by the way, I take issue with people saying that's heartbreak, because heart isn't actually broken. If you look at the artwork, it's piercing it, but it's focusing in. It's getting to the heart of the matter, right? And that's what we're looking at here. A maiden, a mother, and a crone in the desert, most likely Egypt, because we've got a pyramid and a sphinx in the background. But the sphinx absolutely connotates a mystery, right? Something that is unknown. And the three of these women putting their minds together in meditation. Their eyes are closed, so they are kind of going within and focusing towards a common, wrong card, focusing on a common focal point with the card of blessings. So I was just saying to somebody on the phone last night, I was like, yeah, count your blessings, right? More, or was that, that might have been on a live chat last night. To say instead to really, just start tuning into, it's like, well, I really like that, and I really like that, and I really like that. Like we do that on Facebook and Instagram, like we hit like on stuff. But to make that a bit of a mental focus, then you can really start not just thinking about your blessings, but focusing on them in an energetic, dynamic way where it becomes very satisfying in the belly. It can actually relax you. Like just looking across the room now, I see my orchids that a very dear client came to the house last year and brought that as a housewarming gift. I had been here for a year already, but it was her first time. And orchids are really hard to keep alive, depending, right? But I just love that thing, and it bloomed again. Like I learned how to water it correctly. So it's like that is such a blessing on me. That pop of color, it started blooming in winter, so it gave me life. Right? Wait, is my of course the drag fans across the room. I'm just gonna thwarp for you. It's not going to happen right now. So to do that in your second chakra is perhaps to go person by person through your life, or if you need to lift yourself up a little bit, just really go, you know what? I bless that person. Not just how they a blessing to me. Of course, you could focus on that. That's a good way into the energy, but then also to send blessings. Carolyn Mace gave a beautiful image with the second chakra. The idea of a piece of grace coming down from the 8th chakra down through the crown, the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, hitting the second chakra and then shooting out to that person on a real guttural level, like blessing them that way. But then also as well, that could be blessing your finances. People are like, why would I bless my finances? It sucks, nothing's moving. Well, the Course in Miracles also says the only thing lacking from any situation is what we ourselves are not bringing to it. And really, the only thing we can really bring to it is love, right? Because that's the truth of who we are. So to really bless your finances regardless of where they are, like as if my orchid was in need of water. I'm like, well, how dare you wither? Well, what can I give it? I can give it some water. I can give it some indirect sunlight, right? I can nurture it. So to give blessings. And do remember, whenever you bless anyone or anything, the blessings have to come through your energy field first, right? It has to come through your chakra system, your nervous system. And that's why I think for the live chat that I do tonight, the super chat that I do, we're going to do a binge blessing. I think it's time. It's something that I do often in my Mark Angelo Lyons Mal for short Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. Nobody will know you're in there. I know hanging out with a witch can be a tricky thing for your family. I get it. But we do this thing called binge blessing every now and again, where you just start binging on blessings, and it gets you high. It's kind of fun. And non-addictive. Let's see what's going on in the solar plexus. This is now personal power. Now you see why I have the Venus, right? Your relationships with tribes, your relationships to individuals. This is your relationship to yourself. Though we think of self-love here, and I agree, put your hand on your heart and talk to the child of your heart is a brilliant thing. It's not a technique. Inner child work is a relationship. This is about self-esteem, boundaries, your honor code, your survival intuition. And your survival intuition and your self-esteem are linked, like big time, like opposite sides of the same coin. So let's see what you got in the solar plexus. Well, let's just start with, you've got the card of the witch there, which is the card of the magician in this deck before we even look at that one. So to say right now, to acknowledge yourself as a channel, perhaps of these very blessings, but that, like I said, they have to go through you. This is about you looking at your honor code in terms of your alignment. Is your actions, your words, your conduct in alignment with your highest wisdom and truth? Because that is essential right now, not just for our own personal survival. Dishonor has biological consequences. Therefore, honor has biological consequences, and you can feel which way it goes. Someone who's constantly lying and being deceptive is gonna suffer eventually something going on in the solar plexus and the organs that governs. At least upset stomach, acid reflux, perhaps even ulcers, right, as it eats away at them, so to speak. And that's not a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's just how that shit rolls, right? So to have the card of the witch being in alignment, and it is very much that thing I said about the light coming down from the 8th through the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, and out. This is really about that alignment of air, fire, water, earth with spirit, the light coming down, the witch then channeling it through the air of the wand, the fire under the cauldron, the water in the cauldron, and the earth of the pentacle around her, bringing it, grounding it into form. And the angel card that comes with that is soulmate. So we are looking about you in some ways being the mate of your own soul here. You loving yourself, you bringing yourself into alignment with the truth that you are. This can very much be about estimating yourself as a divine being, because we are. But when we're thrown in relationships with other people and we're dealing with situations going on in the world, very easy to forget that. So this could be absolutely about your own personal awakening, self-esteem in the terms of honoring yourself. Okay, ready? The sacred truth of the root chakra is all is one. 3 words that encompasses everything. So tribally, right? The grace of reverence, the reverence for all of life. Let me bless all of life. The sacred truth of the second chakra, honor one another. Well, you can honor one another by honoring the blessings. They have been a blessing to me. Let me return those blessings, even if silently from a social distance. That was a nice way of working that in. The sacred truth of the solar plexus, however, is honor thyself. Now, not honor myself or honor yourself, thyself, which is scriptural in the sense, like, where do you come across the word thy? T-H-Y. Usually in sacred context, right? The Bible, the Mahabharata translated, right? The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So it's speaking to the divine that you are in the solar plexus, like the sun that radiates that beautiful sunlight, if you will, solar plexus. So to really be the mate of your own soul, to really see yourself, or at least viscerally experience yourself as divine perfection in process. That, you know, I said this to my stepfather last week when I was visiting them before the lockdowns happened. We're all healthy, by the way, as far as we know. We're waiting for the tests. I said, everybody's perfect in process. You don't condemn a 2-year-old for not understanding advanced algebra. Because if a 2-year-old understands advanced algebra, what the hell are you feeding that kid, right? There's more than baby genius going on there. That's a walk-in. If you don't know what a walk-in is, don't even Google it. It's scary shit sometimes. So that thing about really self-esteem, estimation. Self-esteem is not a noun. It is a verb. We've been sold it's a noun, so it's something that can be given to us. No. It's something we can buy. No. It is a verb. To estimate yourself as a worthy divine being, right? And one that does have an honor code. And pay attention to what's going on in your solar plexus. I think it speaks as a real voice of our conscience more than our consciousness of when things feel off or when we are on the boundaries of violating our own boundaries, somebody else's, or our own honor code. Please remember. Dishonor has a biological consequence. So true. That's why, villains always get it in the end, and then they reincarnate and become heroes. So there you go. My honor code involves coffee. All right. So that is the physical, literal world. Now we look at the personal world. The world behind your eyes, the heart, the throat, the third eye and crown, the alchemical laboratory of creativity where things go back and forth until they come down into form, right? So let's see what's going on in your heart chakra. Different flavor of power here. Emotional power. This is where the inner child, the emotional inner child lives, right? So what's going on for the Aquarians? Excellent. We've got the Ace of Pentacles with support. Now, in terms of that, it's yes, there is a lot going on. There are new beginnings, right? The Ace of Pentacles for me is the healthy acorn that holds within it the DNA of a tree, an oak tree, right? But you don't plant an acorn on Monday and get a full-blown oak tree on Tuesday. It does take time to develop. It is a potential. So with the card of support, you have the spiritual support to, I love this language, put your heart into whatever it is that you are wanting to start or manifest, either within your own health, your own healing, within your own world, or, here we go, they just gave me the words, your heart's desire. I believe that our heart's desires are actually written in for us by the divine as aspects of the divine plan, that we can't really get away from it because it's carried within us. And that's oftentimes when our hearts are broken. It's because we thought that our heart's desires were going to manifest this way when really it's going to manifest a different way. I believe that our heart's desires will manifest eventually, unless we are really adamant of doing the exact opposite. That's free will for you right there. But to know that spirit is supportive of this, I think, is pretty key, keeping in mind that the sacred truth of the heart chakra, love is divine power, right? So you have the support to love and be loving because you are loved. Not only are we loved, we are love. We are the extensions of the divine into physical form, like sunlight. You can't really see sunlight until it touches something in the physical plane, even if it's the background of the blue sky or a cloud or the pavement or coming in your house. Otherwise, light's invisible until it hits something, right? To illuminate something. Or the peak of the wave of the ocean. We are those individual manifestations, but even the word individual, if you break it down, means not dividable. So the seed of love within your heart, or saying that you have the support from the divine, from your angels, your gods, your guides, whoever you want to identify that is, to really allow your heart to open and to put your heart into a new opportunity, a new venture, which then, of course, would be ready to start moving down through the chakras into physical manifestation. So that feels lovely. Let's see what's going on. Throat chakra. Willpower. Will you or won't you? Spit, swallow, or chew. Choices, decisions, right? What's going to come out your mouth? Or what is it that's not going to come out of your mouth that you're going to swallow it, either repress it or it's not time yet? And what are you going to chew on, right? What's going on here? What you going to do? Oh, very, very interesting. You've got ideas and inspiration with the Two of Pentacles. Now that's interesting. You've got the Ace in the heart. You've got the Two, the Deuce, if you will, the Bull Leapers, the card of balance with ideas and inspiration in the throat chakra. So just even touching these cards, that feels like you're sort of balancing those. I mean, I could layer the Kabbalistic Tree of Life on top of this, really. Go read Anatomy of the Spirit. If you already have, you're probably already doing the correlations symbolically in your mind. But the two spheres of, because there are 10 spheres in the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, there are 7 levels, right? So one for each of the 7 chakras. Yes, there's stuff there for the 8th chakra above as well, but really just keeping it within the context of the work of Carolyn Mace. We are really looking here about the balance between judgment and mercy, right? Because there are two. Tiferet is in the heart chakra, interestingly enough, balance and harmony, but here we have it in that throat chakra, that you're kind of trying to balance this idea and inspiration will be indicated hopefully in the next 2 cards, the third eye and particularly the crown. Balancing out the idea and inspiration in terms of, is it merciful and is it just, right? Justice and mercy. Very indicative of the Kabbalistic Tree of Life with the pillars, right? Mercy and severity. That's really the 2 pillars in the card of the High Priestess Rider-Waite deck. Very Kabbalistic deck. If you've studied it, I have. So, tarotologist that I am, right? So trying to balance that out, and that might very well be, well, I want to talk about this inspiration, this idea, but, you know, I have to keep this perhaps to myself right now, and I want to channel the blessings to the people here, but I still have to balance it out. Can I do this in a way that's just and that is merciful? Like, if there are people you just don't trust, I understand that. Don't hand your bubble to bubble poppers, right? That's just like the best thing. Like, don't give your genius thing that's been given to you by the divine to someone that you know shoots you down every time, right? And yet we so want approval from others. So to balance that out by saying, you know what, no, I'm going to chew on this one for a while. I'll say it eventually, but I'll wait until it's cake. I'm not going to hand them hot batter because they're going to spill it. They're going to spill the tea across the table. So what's the point? Let this one steep for a little bit until you are absolutely ready, because we do have that correlation there between the 2 and the 1, the Ace of Pentacles here. That you really do want to put your heart into this. It's okay to keep this on the down low for a little bit, particularly if the idea really, really feels good in the heart, which I do kind of get with that Ace of Pentacles there. So it's fine in the throat if you're not ready to blog about it and vlog about it and post all over the place, right? Perhaps bring yourself into a more stable balance before doing that, so that you can be merciful to yourself, right? Not just to others, but to yourself in this process, while wanting to be honest and just, hence justice and mercy. Third eye, mental power. Now, this is a tricky one. Oh, by the way, I didn't say, the sacred truth of the throat chakra is surrender your will to the divine. Now, in Anatomy of the Spirit, she says surrender your will to God, but I know I'm dealing with pagans here, so to say surrender your will to Goddess will kind of piss off the monotheists, so, you know, surrender your will to the divine. It's a nice blanket term there, a little generic, but I'm okay with it if you are. And even if you're not, I'm okay with it. So keeping that in mind, that right now I'm going to surrender this to the divine while I chew on this for a little bit, not quite ready to express all of this until it is fully balanced within my energy field, meaning that it really feels safe, I would say, even in your solar plexus. Now this feels safe to share this. And by the way, you've also got this 2 of flames in the root chakra, that indecision probably about how to act on this to bring this desire into fruition, but you have the freedom to do that. I am going to pop up a picture of the spread at the end like I do with the bigger spread reads, and we'll see what else pops. I like looking for correlations numerically. So third eye, what's going on in your third eye? Mental power. Okay, these I'll do at the same time. Oppression and playfulness. Now, usually you don't put those two together unless you are really mentally feeling like your ability to play, to enjoy, to find your innocence is being oppressed. Now, I could see how, third eye, see how that could play itself out right now. I haven't left my house since I got back a week ago today from Saratoga picking up my new car that we found a good deal on a Toyota RAV4. He's gray, so I named him Dorian. Some of you know exactly why I did that. But the thing about this card of oppression, you see, it is one of the two cards for the devil in this deck. Fiona Morgan, the author of the deck, has two different cards to represent the devil card. This is a woman buried under stones amongst a burning village around her, it would seem, right, with a coyote howling in the background. Well, those stones are actually people's faces if you were to ever see the deck. I know you probably can't tell from the camera. So perhaps there is that you want to play that, you want to play this out, you want to, but like I said, maybe there are people that you can't trust, and so you're feeling like your playfulness, your joy, your innocence is being a little oppressed by perhaps others' negativity, not just to mention what's going on in the world. Is now the time to birth something even verbally into the world when people are really focused elsewhere? That's a nice way to say it. You know, as much as we can have a brilliant inspiration, oh, look, this song I just created, you want to hear it? They're like, are you kidding? The world's on fire. You know, probably not the best time. But the sacred truth of the third eye is seek only truth. 3 words. Seek only truth. Not what's true, truth. The third eye, like an eye, can see, but it can see only one of two things, one or the other at any given time, truth or illusion. And when our third eye gets clogged with other people's belief systems, deceptions, all of that stuff, we tend to take on, our minds get oppressed. Now, certainly you can play with the vision of this because ideas and inspiration indicated in this card, this would be more the idea, the crown chakra, the inspiration. Sort of like the radio frequency is received through the crown chakra inspiration and then is languaged and given music in the third eye. Kind of feels like there's some blockage there. The thing about this card, though, is that eventually this woman can start removing those rocks, those oppressions from her, and then walk through one of the doorways that can certainly walk away from what's going on. She's sort of in the center of a village square. She could get out of town, but she would have to really make that decision, that choice. So I am seeing a little interplay here about should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? But like the card of the devil in the Rider-Waite deck, the chains around the necks of the little demonettes, right, the he and she demonettes, are loose. She could walk away from it, but like an addiction, what does it take to walk away from a self-limiting thing? Now, with this card of playfulness, that might be very much the energy that you're thinking, oh, this would be so much fun to play this out, and it would be so much the innocence. I would really, really enjoy doing that. It's such an inspiring, creative, fun thing, regardless of what form it'll eventually take in the world. Your vision may very well be oppressed by what's going on in the world right now. My sense is they'll give it some time, right? We're all on hold, and I think spiritually, mystically, because of this need to regenerate, to heal, to release some of the emotional, mental blocks and toxins that are holding us back individually and collectively. Just my take on it, right? Crown Chakra, spiritual power, live in present time is the sacred truth for the Crown Chakra. Keep in mind, the Crown Chakra doesn't have language. Language happens here, third eye. This is the radar dish. The 1,000-petaled lotus. Now, whether you've got all 1,000 petals in bloom or just one sticking out, you need at least one sticking out, right, for the chi, the prana, the life force to come in through the Crown Chakra. That's really an IV drip, really. but to be in the present moment, to breathe, to be in the silence, not for days, but to that, right? It's like that openness, that receptivity. The divine is always present in the now, so hence live in present time. And here is your other devil card, right? I said there are two of them in this deck. Here's the other one. And this is the trickster, the coyote woman. Now, before we go too deep into, let me just see what that is. Oh, very good. The thing about the coyote is it is a trickster, totem, god, goddess, however you want to see that, in so many different shamanic Native American pantheons, cultures, but always a teacher, right? The teacher through sabotage. When it feels like the world is sabotaging you, sabotaging your dreams, it's very easy to immediately feel victimized, and the world is against me, and I have this wonderful inspiration. Feels like the inspiration's already in play, but the Crown Chakra, from this mystical spiritual power point of view, saying that I'm being blocked, I'm being sabotaged. But with the card of miracles here, this is all part of the divine plan. Though you may see it as lead, it is really gold. And that might be what this oppression is about. You know, the ego wants what it wants when it wants it. And when it gets a really hot idea, of course it can pick it apart forever. But if it's something that you came in to do in this life, particularly, you know, in a chakric sense, a piece of your divine mission, it's kind of heavy words for it, is downloading, really coming from the 8th chakra through the crown, etc. So really get that everything that's happening for you right now, and this is true for all of us, is to make us grow, to make us heal, to make us better. I just read this. I got Matt Kahn's new book, The Universe Always Has a Plan, came yesterday. Right to my house. I was not in a bookstore yesterday. And it's in that first chapter. I'm not going to go get it. But essentially, it's like, in order for me to be who I was born to be, my life couldn't happen any other way. That everything is perfectly scripted in the quantum model. But that doesn't mean that we can't not miss the miracle. The miracle's in play, but it's up here. It just hasn't manifested itself all the way through. Essentially, what's in the crown, through the process of incarnation, if you will, incarnating an idea, right? Like, what do I want to have for dinner? Oh, ding, manifest, right? Yes, you incarnate even your dinner. I incarnated my coffee. I'm incarnating this creativity of this video for you. But that there is a miracle in play, but it is what? A miracle in disguise. So you can play it as a victim. You can play it as that you're being sabotaged, that you've sabotaged yourself, but ultimately you can't get it wrong. You've done nothing wrong. Again, from Matt Kahn, you've done nothing wrong. From the eyes of the divine. Just let this play itself out. And that's why, again, in this root here, you have the freedom to be indecisive, to not make a great big huge decision or move towards this. It really feels like it's a divine timing thing. Let's get your last chakra down, the 8th chakra, the star center, the upper room, the soul center, the home of the archetypes. It's been called so many things, yet very rarely talked about in yoga because, well, at least Western yoga, because you can't bend it, right? But believe me, it's the higher self. It's where we go after death, and really where the majority of us is. You know, when you're fully embodied, everything that's in that 8th chakra is in every chakra, all the way down into the root. Those are moments of bliss, of ecstasy, of true love fully manifested. We're all in process. Oh. You've got the moon with new beginnings in the 8th chakra. Okay, so though it will make no sense intellectually, what's in the crown chakra is the intuitive, the voice of the goddess, Yemaya in this deck, right? That moon, that the path is always under your feet, but when it's full moon and you're standing at a body of water, the path is revealed, but you know, only for a moment, only for a short period of time, that there is a new beginning for you that is going to be incarnating. This is beautiful. So whatever it is that you're going through, I can guess what that is on a global level, get that this is actually preparing you for something. A new beginning is coming, and you know what? There is no death without rebirth, no crucifixion without resurrection, no loss without gain, no erosion without renewal. It's just the cycle of everything in this world. Everything's a circle. All my life's a circle. Sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. Harry Chapin. I used to sing that song a lot as a kid. You might be a pagan. You may be a witch. I am, right? So how beautiful, how magnificent that if you can really tune to your visionary intuition. All right, you ready for this? The 8th chakra manages visionary intuition. It's life purpose stuff. It's divine plan stuff. It's like you got whipped off the planet and see the larger picture, which is very Aquarian, fixed air, stratospheric. The heart, throat, third eye, and crown is creative intuition. It's that laboratory of a little bit of this and some of that, back and forth. And then the third level of power, the physical world, is survival intuition. It's the turn left, turn right. Oh, I think they're feeling, oh, I feel they're feeling this. And it's the empathy. And are they lying? And what's my honor code saying? How do I feel, right? Fight or flight. That what good, I've been saying this for decades, what the hell good is visionary intuition if you don't have the creative and the survival in place? That's like having a balloon with no string, right? No way to ground it into physical form. So you might very well have heart's desires, things that you've always wanted, and that you're kind of focusing on them, thinking that all this joy and playfulness you were going to have has been truncated or shut down completely. Honey, it's on its way. The things that we really want, right? The lovers that we want, the health, the money, the fulfilling careers, work, career, vocation. It's written into the script, but we don't know that, so it comes in forms of these desires. That's really a form of intuition. It's so beautiful. What a lovely read. We're going to get 2 more cards down. We're going to get the voice of the higher self, and I saved these for last. I could have started them with this, but the higher self, like I said, is in that star chakra, is in that 8th chakra. That's really, for me, symbolically the home of the higher self. Well, and above, that's the 5th dimension. Okay, ready? 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, 5th dimension, but you have higher selves that go upward and upward and upward, 12th dimension and beyond, right? So let's see what your higher selves have to say about this. Shall we? Whispers of Love Oracle, take a deep breath. Oh, one more, please, for the air sign. The higher self collective. Please, 1 card in clarity, a whisper of love for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. In their chakra system, you know, what's going on? An overviewing whisper of love for this Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for this March to April 2020. In terms of their chakra check, what is the message from their higher selves? Please. You are limitless. Can't make this shit up. You are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do, but maybe not right now, right? Maybe not through March and April, maybe. Now that doesn't mean that you can't play with it, right? Just because it looks like and appears, and rightly so, that there are oppressions, things standing in your way, doesn't mean you can't play with the vision. Doesn't mean you can't write it down. Just maybe not share it with anybody right now. And again, do not hand your bubbles to bubble poppers. Remember, I was raised by teachers and lawyers, so I had to learn. Don't go to them with your creative, innocent intuitions and dreams. Lawyers, by definition, are trained and paid to be worst-case scenarioists, and that's what we love them for, kind of, sort of. Have one in your family, and you'll see how interesting it is to love lawyers. But I do. It's lovely that they can show you what the legal boundaries are. But our dreams certainly can transcend that. But we do want everything to be, right, in alignment with our honor code. One last card down, and you know I'm going to get you a healing mantra deck card from Matt Kahn. You know I'm going to do that if you've been watching my channel. The great thing about these cards is it gives you something to focus on. So that's why I do suggest Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. You could, if you have different placements, like 4 different signs that way, you can get 4 different mantras to help you clear these chakras and heal them and balance them and align them and all of that. Cool. One side of the card is the mantra itself in English. The other, the name of the mantra, so I can look it up in the book. I highly recommend this deck. Very helpful for me. I'm not getting any money back from Hay House or Matt Kahn. We don't know each other. I know of him. I doubt he knows of me. But he just put out a video yesterday, Thy Will Be Done. I was like, oh, the pagans are going to hate that title. But it's a really good video. See, I'm a mystic. I'll take truth wherever it comes from, wherever it resonates. I'm an equal opportunity mystical truth acceptor. As long as there's not too much tinfoil hat woo-woo in it, because I am a witch from New York. Breathe. Ha ha ha. The Ascended Masters. Oh, my Ascended Masters, please. One card in clarity. What is the perfect healing mantra for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in this chakra system we got going here? Please, the mantra that will help them heal the most, March to April 2020. Please. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? You're anchoring the light. You thought I was going to say your makeup is terrible, didn't you? I'm not from Alaska, though I adore her. The light is always within me. The light is always within you. We are the light we are. That's the unified field. And I'm not talking about that light versus dark shit. No, 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 no. I am of the light, you are of the dark. Heroes and villains. Even villains are of the light, they just don't know it. That's the difference, nor are they interested in knowing it. Usually. Why? Because they're in pain, right? The light is always within me, anchoring the light. Let me read you from ye old bookie book. Anchoring the light. Here we go. The light is always within me. When you anchor the light, you are accepting the infinite life force of the universe as your guardian, navigator, and companion. That makes sense with what's going on here on this table with that moon card and new beginnings. As you anchor the light, you are no longer a person trying to find the deeper meaning of connection. Instead, you know yourself to be a living expression of connection simply appearing in human form. Why? Because you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. This mantra is ideal for overcoming fear, reducing cravings, and making important life decisions. And that's what's on the table here in a couple of different ways. In fact, let's just pop up the picture. We'll take an overview and we'll see what else pops, shall we? Magic clap. Because we start, we're going to actually start in the 8th chakra and work our way down to the root. It's easier that way. Because in the 8th chakra, in the star center, you have got the moon. Yamaya. Definitely an indication of divinely inspired, creative, visionary intuition of a new beginning. Now, you may only get wisps of that. Only pieces of that might have made its way down into your crown and your third eye, because it's still really presenting itself in the 8th chakra. So it might be like IV dripping down into your crown and third eye. Because in your crown, we do have this card, the Devil card, Coyote Woman, the trickster, that there is a trick being played on you, but in terms of spiritual power, where things look like a delay, but things might be going faster than you realize because of that card of miracles paired with it. That there's something that might very well be defying natural law, which is the textbook definition of a miracle, though Course in Miracles vision, or version I should say of it, is about a shift in perception from a thought system based in fear to a thought system based in love. That is the Course in Miracles definition, but that means that forgiveness is involved, and maybe there is a forgiveness lesson involved here. Then again, the Course in Miracles says all lessons are forgiveness lessons. And why wouldn't that be in the third eye? You've got that card of oppression and playfulness. Please be gentle with yourself mentally. Play with this inspiration and these ideas that are coming in that are indicated in the throat. We'll get there in a second. That though, yes, you may be feeling oppressed, you might be thinking that you are oppressed. Think of it as a timing thing, right? Like when you're stuck in traffic and you're running late for work or an appointment and you're so frustrated, and then you realize down the road was an accident, and maybe you might have been in that accident if it weren't for the delays, right? That sort of thing. There's definitely a divine timing thing here. The divine plan, the quantum field, is definitely screwing with you, but in a way that is ultimately to your benefit. You just can't see it yet. And then in that throat chakra, that thing of ideas and inspiration with the Two of Pentacles of balance. This does feel tricky. This to me feels like a very pivotal part of your chakra field right now, because it really is about trying to balance justice and mercy. If you are feeling put upon, if you are feeling sabotaged, if you are feeling betrayed by the gods, by the universe itself, then really be a bit more merciful with yourself. That your ideas and inspiration aren't shit just because they can't manifest fully into physical form when and where you want them to, and perhaps how you want them to. Keep in mind, the whole world is on pause right now. There are bigger fish to fry, so to speak. So really be merciful yourself, and of course be merciful with others. And if people are trying to pry up into your shit and find out what's going on in your life, you have every right to be very just about it, but be very merciful and say, you know, I just don't feel like talking about it right now. I'm feeling a little off, but thank you so much for asking. When I'm ready to discuss this, you will be among the first people I tell. Because here it is in your heart chakra, the Ace of Pentacles with support. This is something that has touched your heart. This is a potential, a new beginning. So like I said, the 8th chakra, Yamaya, the moon with new beginning, I feel like it's been drip by drip going down through your energy field, getting ready to manifest, but there are some necessary stopgaps along the way. Like, you don't want to take a journey of 1,000 miles all in one day, right? You want to break that up. You want to rest. You want to be kind. And we're all sort of needing our rest right now and getting it, whether we want it or not. Except for those out there in essential capacities, let's put it that way. Bless them all here and now and forever. And then moving down into the physical world, we have that card of the witch, very much a card of self-actualization, with soulmate. Really tapping into your own interior divinity, being the mate of your own soul, keeping an eye on what's going on in your solar plexus will tell you survival intuition, what you are ready to do and what you are not ready to do. Honor thyself, honor thyself, honor thyself. If you're feeling burned out, if you're feeling tired, if you don't feel like you have a full tank of gas, rest. Be the mate of your own soul, particularly if you live alone and are isolated right now. Because in the 2nd chakra, I love that card, the 3 of Blades, focus with the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone, focusing their mental energy, which remember, in the 3rd eye, you have the card of playfulness with oppression, right? So you may be oppressed by physical circumstances, but that doesn't mean you can't visualize and send blessings even down unto the 2nd chakra. Bless your money. Bless your creativity. Bless individuals involved in this one at a time. Make that part of a spiritual practice. Maybe not every day for the rest of your life, but, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. When someone crosses your mind, put your hand on your navel. Again, for me, it's about 2 inches below the navel, and just breathe into it and say, you know, may they be blessed. May John be blessed. May Donna be blessed. May Agatha, may Samuel. Why don't I just go with really old? May Gertrude. May Wilberforce be blessed. That's going to really stimulate and move some things, even if it's just about money for you right now. If that's part of the oppression that's getting you down in your mind, kind of putting a damper on your playfulness, a wet blanket on your playfulness mentally, it's like, well, then bless my money and bless the economy and bless all who need money. May all who are in need of financial resources receive them as soon as possible under grace and perfect ways, and may it begin with me. Beautiful blessing right there. Really bringing it down into that root chakra, the 2 of Flames, that indecision, that creative, passionate, do I do this or do I want to do this? But again, it's about fire, desire, what do I want? And you have the freedom to do that right now. So really play the game that way. You can take baby steps, but you don't have to commit all the way through. And let's keep in mind the voices of the higher self here saying, you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. Why? Because you're anchoring the light all the way through. The light is always within me. Not that the light is above me and it's eventually going to come into form. It's already who you are. You are the E that equals the MC squared. You are the spirit in the body. You are the energy in form. You are the ghost in the machine. Thank you so much, Sting. The light is always within me is your mantra, and I feel like that's going to help you balance all of this out in a much more graceful way, no matter how long it takes. Pretty cool, huh? Nothing like a chakra check. I love this spread. I've helped a lot of people with it, and like I said, I've checked my own. Even when in a relationship with somebody that either I can't stand or we can't be together or we love each other is what I'm feeling. It's a nice way to look at the mirrors, right? To kind of hold up a mirror to your different energy centers and the powers therein. So may you be blessed. May your chakra systems be blessed, my Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Be blessed with all that they need to spin clearly, to be balanced, to be healed, to be the best that they can be, shining radiance that they are for your well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I have unpinned from time. I haven't yet, but I could very easily wake up in the middle of the night, take a shower, come downstairs, and make more videos and put them out at any time. So this way you'll be sure to catch them. And by all means, if any of this makes sense to you now, please comment in the comment section below. Or maybe wait a week and let me know how this goes, or let me know in April. Cool. Really a good idea to put these in your watch later, these chakra things, because we are looking at a process of incarnation from spirit into form. Some of this might not show up in the lower 3 for a month or so. Cool, cool. Life moves at the speed of forgiveness. Be gentle with yourself, people. I love you all so very, very much. And so I sign off as I always do with my standard blessing. Ready? Say it with me. Hail. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.